very warm welcome to another episode of our product inspiration series for Intelligent CX. I'm Kati, and today we'll be taking a deep dive into the new SAP Service Cloud version 2 alongside Sanchit, who's been part of our product management team. Hey Sanchit, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Katie. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to share the incredible capabilities of Agent Desktop in SAP Service Cloud V2 that we have developed.
Perfect. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. In 2022, SAP launched a groundbreaking solution for customer service management, initially introduced as an intelligent add-on for SAP Cloud for Customer called Agent Desktop. We later unveiled the impressive SAP Service Cloud version 2. But what motivated us to take this step, and how has the solution been embraced so far?
That's a great question. With Agent Desktop, we are primarily catering to the customer service agents. Their objective is to process incoming customer queries efficiently. So these queries can come from synchronous channels like phone, live web chat, and social media, as well as from asynchronous channels like email, cases, and so on. Our vision for Agent Desktop is to be a one-stop solution, providing agents with access to key customer information, past interactions across various channels, associated entities like cases and registered products, and so on. Additionally, they can utilize our native knowledge-based widget and other configurable business apps to process queries more efficiently. The solution has been well received by our customers across different industries, including travel, retail, and healthcare, serving both B2B and B2C customer bases. We are excited to continue this journey, leveraging the valuable feedback we receive to make the solution even more robust.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there scenarios you would like to highlight here to showcase the unique features of the Agent Desktop in SAP Service Cloud version 2?
For the customer service agent persona, processing incoming live CTI interactions such as phone, chat, and social media with Agent Desktop is definitely the centerpiece for us. While there are multiple variants and processes across business requirements to meet, I would like to highlight the following four that we bring forward with Agent Desktop. So the first one would be the ability for the agent to multitask and receive interactions from various CTI vendors configured across channels using our multi-CTI widget feature. The second would be the ability to automate and also automatically identify the customer based on primary identifiers like phone number, email, and also special CAD or call attached data captured using the IVR. The third one that I would like to highlight over here would be the one-click access to our native knowledge-based widget that provides easy access to a KB article and ability to share it with the end customer via chat or email. Finally, I would like to highlight the Gen AI capabilities that we have, some of which are the case summarization feature, the transcript summarization feature, and also the email draft recommender.
Great. Now, before we dive into the demo, let's discuss how customers can adopt SAP Service Cloud version 2. Are there any technical prerequisites for our customers, and what should they start with?
I'm glad you asked. In Cloud for Customer V1, the Agent Desktop add-on required a separate license and configuration. The good news is that for Service Cloud V2, Agent Desktop is available out of the box and pre-delivered with no additional configuration or licensing needed. Service agents with the appropriate business role in Service Cloud V2 will automatically have access to the right Agent Desktop console on their tenant. Thank you.
All right, let's get started with our Agent Desktop demo on Service Cloud V2. As a part of this, I'll also be happy to show you the knowledge base CTI vendor configuration and the phone and chat interaction logs feature that we have. All of these are leveraged as complementary features by the service agent when they're using Agent Desktop for processing incoming requests. So for the purposes of this demo, I'll start with showing you the service agent persona workflow, and then I'll move on to the admin workflow, which has more to do with configuration and setting things up so that the service agent can proceed with their day-to-day tasks. I'll start by simulating an incoming phone call from a CTI vendor. and I'll show you how it would look for the service agent persona in terms of the agent desktop workflow. So for that, let me firstly, as a service agent persona, log in to my CTI widget on the right console. So as you can see, we have a multi-widget configuration over here. So what that means is multiple CTI vendors can be configured over here, and those would show up as multiple tabs over here. So that's something that I'll show you towards the later half of the demo when I walk through the admin persona uh, workflow. So for now, I'll just log in to Sinch, which is a premium um, endorsed app from a CTI perspective that you can find on the SAP App Store. So let me log in quickly. So I'm logged into Sinch, and as you can see, this is the Sinch interface. Once I have logged in, I am able to see the list of queues that I can be a part of as a service agent. So I am making myself available for these 3 phone call queues. Again, these are omni-channel queues, so you'll be able to see them across different channel types like Facebook Messenger, Instagram, KakaoTalk, Line. There's also a live web chat component, and then we also have WhatsApp, Viber, WeChat. So for now, I'll just make myself available as a part of these phone call queues over here, and I'll make myself available over here. So I see there's an incoming WhatsApp chat. I'll decline this for now. I'll go ahead and initiate incoming phone call. As you can see, an incoming call has gotten triggered, and I'm able to identify the customer over here, which is an account called Seabond Industries, and the contact is Leo Clark. So I'll go ahead and accept the call. So once I accept the call, um, the widget view would change. I would no longer have to consume this, so I can minimize it. And you can see that there's a green visual indicator over here just to denote that this particular there's a live call that's going on right now. So this is more from me agent perspective for them to understand that there's a live call going, and then they have to take actions accordingly. So again, welcome to the customer hub view in agent desktop. So here you can see that there's an automatic identification that takes place uh, because there was a unique match for this particular phone number. So this particular phone number that you see over here, this was matched with one particular contact and account. Hence, the customer hub was able to open on its own. You can imagine a scenario where this number actually matches with more than one contact. In that case, what would happen is you will be able to see multiple contacts over here with the same phone number, and then the agent can actually manually confirm them while asking additional details during the call. So let me quickly move on to the customer hub and give you a brief overview of how this is structured. So we have 3 columns over here. The first column on the left is called the left panel, where we show a key information from the customer. So this can be information such as the account name, the account ID, the address, the main contact, who this particular conversation is with. So this is with a gentleman named Leo Clark because this is the phone number that was identified. You can also see the other contacts that are a part of this particular this particular account on the left panel. We also have the addresses over here. Uh, on the center panel, we primarily have 2 pre-delivered tabs that we show over here. One is the timeline, and the second is the entities. In the timeline tab, you'll just be able to see all the interactions that have taken place in the past with this particular account and contact. So you can see a list of phone calls over here, but then if you scroll down, you can also see other interaction types such as a sales quote getting created, a task getting created, an opportunity getting created, an appointment, and a task again. So you can also filter these interactions based on their types over here. So if you just want to see chat related or email related interactions, you'll be able to see that. If you only want to see call related interactions, you'll be able to see that. And then you can also filter it based on entities. So let's say you only want to see cases related information, you'll be able to see that over here. We also have a search feature that you can use to search for a particular query from the timeline view. any interaction that comes up now would actually will get auto created and show up over here, as you can see. And once the auto creation happens, we can kind of add more details to it by actually filling up the section over here under interaction log. So before I move to that, let me just quickly touch upon the additional details tab over here. So this is actually IVR information that we can pass, the customer can pass and show up, that would show up over here. So for the purposes of this demo, there's no IVR information that has been passed by the customer who called. If at all there's an IVR information that has been passed, that would show up over here in some of these placeholder fields right now. And then some of these fields like custom field 1, 2, 3, and 4 can then be further used for identifying the customer. That would act as a secondary identifier instead of a primary identifier, which would be the phone number. I can also add notes over here. So for this particular query, it's about, let's say, a broken microwave, replacement needed. I can add a category to it. How about product support, hardware issue? And under entities, I can see that this is the microwave that the customer is referring to, which is already a registered product under the particular customer. So let me go ahead and link that, and it would show up over here. I'm able to save this. So once I save it, what happens is this, the interaction log that you saw previously, that kind of gets updated with all the information. Further going on, I would also want to touch upon the entities tab over here. So here we also show you all the entities that belong to this particular account and contact. So these entities can be a case or a registered product or other service objects such as functional location, product installation point, install basis, and as we speak, we're also developing capabilities to add more sales related objects over here. So we are starting off with sales orders, but we also have plans to integrate leads and opportunities that would eventually show up over here. This particular entities tab has two views. So there's the card view over here, but then we also have something called a list view, which will have a different format or different version of the same information being shown over here. We have these pin icon features over here. So what that means is whenever I click on this, it would actually add a particular case or a particular entity over here as a linked item on the interaction log. While doing that, it would also pass a context over here to the KB section that you see over here, based on which I'll be able to see recommended articles on the KB section based on whatever context has been passed from that particular entity using the pin icon. So I can see these are articles related to multi-eco 11i, then these are articles related to test SPBA 19. But then if I feel that the particular customer has called with regard to a different microwave model, I can then actually go ahead and search for it. So let me do that and show you how that works. So if I search for this, I'm able to see this particular article over here, these list of articles over here, and I can actually very quickly go ahead and send this particular article to the customer using the native email send functionality that we have. We also have a copy to clipboard functionality where you can copy this and then paste that link. I can also send this over to the customer using the inline email editor that we have. Apart from that, I can also, there's an option for the admin to add other tabs over here as mashups, and these mashups can be pretty much any business app that you can imagine. So for the purposes of this demo, we have added some S4 integration over here. So you can actually go ahead and create a service order, search for transactions, and using the S4 integration that we have, you can pretty much build any app, any web page using apps such as the SAP Build app product or the Mendix app builder, and those would actually end up showing up over here. We also have a create section over here where you can actually go ahead and create a new case or create a new registered product, and then that would open up a form over here. And while you're doing that, pretty much most of the information will get auto-filled from the interaction log because we know the context that this particular customer is calling with regard to. Also, as you can see, this registered product that we had linked over here would show up over here as well. So there's a lot of context passing that happens, so that we want to ensure that the agent doesn't really have to do a lot of filling up of information redundantly. Very quickly, I would also like to show you this the new capability that we have released, which is with regard to call summarization from based on a transcript information. So let me show that to you. So for certain interactions, you can see that there's a phone transcript summary. So this is just to give the agent a feel about what this particular interaction was about, instead of them having to click on the phone transcript and then read through the detailed transcript. So just based on this, the agent is actually able to identify what the customer's query was about, and then they can maybe leverage that information while processing this particular query. So there's actually a feature that we have recently released with one particular CTI vendor, but then we plan to expand this for other CTI vendors that we support as well. Let me go ahead and quickly hang up the call. Over here, I'll give it a rating. The contacts mode was satisfied. I'll save this, I'll close it, and I'll make myself unavailable just to prevent any other calls from coming through. So this is actually what the customer hub is all about. Any interaction that we actually create over here would actually eventually show up in the phone call or chat work center that we have over here. So there's actually a list view where you'll be able to see all your phone call interactions or activities that show up. So this is the most recent one that took place. I can click on it. I'll be able to see a quick view with all the necessary information over here, but then I can also see the detailed view. And all of this is perfectly adaptable or extendable. So what that means is I can go ahead as an admin, use the adaptation feature to pretty much expose any fields over here or hide any other fields that I feel don't bring any additional value to the agent. Similarly, I can do that for the phone call list as well. And more importantly, I can also do it over here. As an admin, I have the access of actually going and hiding certain fields and reordering them, and then reordering certain sections to ensure that the agent, as they open the screen over here, they just see the most prominent information up front. I can also reorder the tabs over here, reorder the entities section over here. So if I want registered products to show up at the top and not cases, so that's something that's possible as well using the reordering capability that we have over here. It's as simple as moving these line items over here. So very quickly with this, I would also like to show you how the agent desktop search works. So let me trigger a manual session. So this is how the agent desktop search would work if the agent has to actually go and manually search for a customer. So if I type CBond over here, which is the account name, I'll be able to see that one account shows up, which is CBond Industries. That has 14 contacts which are related to CBond Industries. And then there are 4 registered products, 992 cases, and so on and so forth. So pretty much I can go and manually confirm a particular business partner or an entity over here. So let's say again I go and select Leo Clark and I can confirm them over here. So as I confirm them, the customer hub would open again with the same information that you saw over here previously, just that there wouldn't be an interaction log that's created as was the case in the previous demo. So with that, let me also then jump on to the admin section of how to configure this very quickly. So the two main configurations that happen over here is firstly the CTI configuration. So I go to CTI configuration over here, I'll be able to add multiple CTI widgets over here up to a maximum of 5, and then I can make them active. So as I make them active, they would show up as a tab on that right CTI widget that I showed you earlier. And adding a new provider is as easy as providing a URL from that CTI vendor, giving it a name, giving it a provider ID, and ensuring whether that particular provider would be sending any CAD information as a part of their IVR. And if they are, then we'll have to configure where that CAD information would come through. So it's as simple as that. Let me go back to that screen quickly. So that's how the CTI configuration works. Again, it's quite straightforward, and we have a iframe based client-side integration that we have on V2, where it's more of a plug and play, especially with the CTI vendors whom we support out of the box. So some of them are Sinch, 3C Logic, Combox. We also work with Amazon Connect right now, and then we also have Quip. So each of these vendors bring a different capability to the table, and then we have built our solution in such a way that we are able to leverage each of these. Let me show you a few other settings under Agent Desktop. So these are settings related to an activity getting created using an inbound or an outbound interaction. And then we have certain timeline settings over here where you can go and decide what kind of interaction types you want to display on the timeline. We also have the provider section where we actually can go and decide on the KB vendors that would actually get configured to the native KB widget that I showed you earlier. So that is more of an API based integration. So what that means is the information from the KB vendor would actually be retrieved via APIs and then show up on the right panel over there. Right now you can see that MindTouch, nice CX1 expert, is a SAP partner in the KB space. So we partner with them, and their articles are shown up right now on the native KB widget. But if required, you can also go ahead and use a generic vendor over here in which you can bring your own KB solution, and you can plug and play with them, and their articles would start showing up over here. So there's more to give a native look and feel from a KB perspective with the data of your choice from the vendor of your choice. But from a KB perspective, it's also easy to configure a mashup based KB that would actually end up showing up as a mashup tab in your customer hub. So that's possible as well. And again, you can use any vendor for that. From a native KB widget perspective, we right now support MindTouch, and we recently have support for WorkZone. So those are out of the box. So you wouldn't have to do any custom work to have them integrated. But for the generic KB solution, the KB vendor whom you work with would have to do a custom work to support the transfer of that information to us in a format that we accept. So that's how this would work. With that, I've covered all the key highlights of what Agent Desktop and Knowledge Base has to offer, but I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Please feel free to reach out to me. I hope this provided some insight into the capabilities that we are really excited about, and we are working hard towards making this even more robust and mature. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the world of SAP Intelligent CX. Our comprehensive suite of applications seamlessly integrates front-end and back-end systems, providing a unified and streamlined approach to managing customer interactions. We incorporate artificial intelligence that allows your team to work smarter and faster, and our industry-tailored use cases and partner ecosystem empowers organizations to deliver extraordinary experiences, build lasting relationships, and drive sustainable growth. Our composable SAP Customer Experience Suite enables leading brands to understand and protect customer data, increase lifetime value with personalized journeys, close more business faster, drive consistently profitable commerce outcomes, and deliver automated and agent-assisted service. Learn how you can deliver extraordinary customer experiences. Visit sap.com/cx.